Hi, welcome to my automotive show EKG Canadian Enthusiast. Before starting the show, I want to hit the like button and subscribe to my show. Today on the show, we're going to do one major comparison test of vehicles that you can actually afford. Today on the comparison test, we'll be comparing the Toyota Corolla versus the Honda Civic, the Honda Civic versus the Mazda 3, then of course the Mazda 3 versus the Hyundai Elantra, and of course the Elantra versus the VW Jetta, and of course the VW Jetta versus the Nissan Sentra. So now let's get started, people. Let's get started. Now the specifications are of these vehicles. Now I want to say I have taken specifications from North American specs. So the vehicles you see will have North American specifications. So now let's get started. Now let's start. Now Toyota Corolla, the model I am going to take into consideration is the range-topping Toyota Corolla XSE sedan variant of the Corolla with the XSE trim, powered by a 2-liter 4-cylinder engine with 169 horsepower and 115 mile-per-hour top speed. And it comes with a CVT gearbox. Price tag $26,950. Then followed up by the Honda Civic, the all-new brand new 2022 Civic, very much brilliant. Today I am taking the range-topping touring sedan form with the price tag of $29,515. That's almost $30,000. I tell you why the new Civic is so good. Powered by a 1.5-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder with 180 horsepower and 126 miles per hour. And it's a CVT, and we are taking the sedan body style. And of course from Mazda, I'm taking the Mazda 3 premium trim level with the sedan body style into consideration with the premium trim. Now the price is $27,995, but you can add all-wheel drive for $1,400, which I have included, which means now a vehicle will cost $29,395. So yes, we are now on the Civic territory of pricing. You will know why. Powered by a 2.5-liter 4-cylinder engine with 186 horsepower and 130 mile-per-hour top speed, and available with a 6-speed automatic. Then of course followed up by the Korean competitors, the Hyundai Elantra, with the Elantra coming in range-topping limited trim, coming in the price tag of $26,455. Don't be fooled by the price tag. This has lots of tech and comfort. As the comparison test, I will tell you why. Powered by a 2-liter 4-cylinder engine with 147 horsepower and 120 mile-per-hour top speed. It's available with a CVT, of course. Moving on from that, let's get to the VW Jetta. The VW Jetta I'm talking is the newly facelifted VW Jetta. Now the prices are not confirmed, but these are estimated prices. This is how I will estimate prices. I'm taking the VW Jetta SCL trim estimated at $27,000, most likely cheaper or higher than it is. So I take the price with a grain of salt. Now it's also sedan, just so you should know. 1.5-liter 4-cylinder turbocharged engine with 158 horsepower. So that's already a lot, really. That's top speed. I can't confirm. Even Car and Driver has not really confirmed, so I'm not going to talk about top speed. And it comes with the 8-speed automatic optional. So this, I have taken the 8-speed automatic into consideration. And now not least but not last, the Nissan Sentra. I'm taking the Nissan Sentra SR trim with the premium package, which cost $25,325. It's powered by a 2-liter 4-cylinder engine with 149 horsepower. Top speed not verified. I can't verify top speed. Overall, that's the list. So, do you agree with my list of comparisons? Should I add more vehicles? Please tell me on the comment section. So now let's get started. We got 2 categories to judge, daily categories and weekend categories. So let's start with the daily categories first. I want to get started with the daily categories, which is where these vehicles really shine. Now, out of 10 other points will be given for each vehicle out of 10 in requirements, such as interior and technology and stuff. So let's get started. In terms of interior design, the new Honda Civic is class leading. There is no question it gets 10 out of 10. There's no question. Followed up by the Hyundai Elantra, Hyundai Elantra in my book is really impressive, gets 8 out of 10 indeed, followed up by the Mazda 3. The interior of the Mazda 3 is really impressive, gets 7 out of 10. That can be controversial. You can tell me am I right or wrong in the comment section. And then followed up by the VW Jetta. I will give it 6 out of 10. The interior is good, but it's a bit bland, lacks flair. Then of course you have the Nissan Sentra. Of course, it's well built, solid interior, looks good. However, the interior is not quite opulent, and I think it looks too sporty almost in my book. And then, surprisingly, the Corolla, I will give it 4 out of 10. Not because it's bad. In fact, the Corolla has the best build quality than all of its competitors. However, it lacks the appearance of a luxurious interior. That's the only problem. It looks dull, and plus I think its material, there are some cheap materials as well. That's why I give it 4 out of 10. But the competition is so fierce, I would simply say every margin counts. So moving on from interior, you can see where this is heading. In terms of technology, the Hyundai Elantra gives you so much technology for so less money. So there's no question, 10 out of 10. The new Civic, 9 out of 10. We've seen how good it is. Followed up by the Mazda 3. The technology wise, very impressive. I would give it 8 out of 10 for the Mazda 3. Then of course for the Corolla, for the Toyota Corolla, it's well equipped. There's no question about it. I will give it 7 out of 10. You see Corolla is resuming business as usual here. The VW Jetta, well equipped, but technology wise, scratchy slightly. So 6 out of 10. The Nissan Sentra, technology wise, behind, but very good still. 5 out of 10, but I'm being picky here, obviously. In terms of practicality, it's tough. The Hyundai Elantra has the biggest wheelbase of the compact car segment. So combine that and space in the rear seats and boot space combined, it gets a full 10 out of 10 unquestionably. Second best for me is the Honda Civic. The new 4-door saloon is really impressive. I will give it 9 out of 10 in terms of space and practicality. It's also labeled as a hatchback, so that can easily be a 10 if it was a hatch. Then followed up by the Toyota Corolla. The 4-door saloon is really impressive. It's practical, it's big, it's spacious, but the hatch is more practical. That's why I will give this thing 8 out of 10. Then followed up by the VW Jetta. For me, the Jetta is very practical, very spacious, and I think there's no question about that. So I will give it 7 out of 10. And then the Mazda 3 and the Nissan Sentra, I will give it 6 out of 10 because the Mazda 3 in saloon form is very practical, but in hatchback form, it's small space in the back, boot is small, and I think it looks a bit frankly weird. I don't like the practicality, it's simply not. The Sentra, it's just too small in my book. I think it's not that spacious. In my case, I could be wrong, correct me if I'm wrong in the comment section. 6 out of 10 each for the Sentra and the Mazda 3. Then for MPG, now fuel economy. In terms of fuel economy, I would say, the Elantra is more frugal. I will give it 10 out of 10, followed up by the new Civic, which I will give it 9 out of 10, of course, which again, I could be wrong or right. I take in real life situations, in my calculations. The Toyota Corolla, I would give it 8 out of 10, there's no question about the Corolla. Then the Mazda 3 and the Jetta, I will give it 7 out of 10 each, because this is the reason I would say that for the Jetta and the 3. The Mazda 3 has an older 2.5 liter engine, so the fuel economy isn't that good. The Jetta's engine is now larger and it's not that much more frugal, so that's why I would give it 7 out of 10 each. The Sentra, I will give it 6 out of 10. It uses a 2 liter engine, and that engine is also a fairly old engine, so I'm not going to budge. I'm going to give 6 out of 10 on that. I'm going to give it 6 out of 10 on the Sentra. Then, of course, value for money. Last requirement on the daily categories. This is tough. I would give the Corolla and the Hyundai Elantra 10 out of 10. They both give lots of standard equipment for a very low price. Then followed up by the new Honda Civic, offers tons of features, luxury car levels of comfort and build quality. I would give it 9 out of 10. Then the Mazda 3, I will give it 7 out of 10. You get tons of engine options, but the hatchback is very small and I don't think it's value for money on that regard. It misses out points because of that. 7 out of 10. Then the VW Jetta. I personally like the Jetta, but because of VW's premium pricing, I'm going to give it 6 out of 10. Plus, I can't be sure it's going to be $27,000. It's only an estimate as well. Then the Sentra, it's the cheapest, but it also has the least horsepower. It has the worst CVT between all CVTs, and plus I think it's not that very attractive for me. It's not very attractive value proposition. It's great. I think it just lacks the flash. I think the Sentra needs to do a lot more to gain fame. I think it needs a Sentra Nismo or something like that to really give it some value for money. I will just give it a 5 out of 10 on the Sentra. So overall points in the on the daily section, Civic gets 46 out of 50, Corolla gets 37 out of 50, Mazda 3 35 out of 50, Elantra 48 out of 50, Jetta 32 out of 50, and Sentra 27 out of 50. So that's fairly good, I must admit. So if I'm wrong about the Sentra, please correct me in the comment section. So let's get to weekend sections. Now these are not weekend cars, but I'm going to give them out of 10 from between these competitors. Let's start with looks. In terms of styling, these are not attractive vehicles, but the new Honda Civic looks like a baby Audi A4. That's a very good thing. I will give it 10 out of 10. The Mazda 3 is attractive and sexy and gorgeous. 9 out of 10. Then I will give the Sentra and the Jetta 7 out of 10 each. They both look good. They are both handsome, no questions. And then the Corolla, it looks good. People will disagree with me on that, but I tell you it looks good. I will give it 6 out of 10. The Elantra is too controversial. Its front end is too controversial. I will give it 4 out of 10. In terms of performance, again, these are performance cars, but I will give them anyway. Civic, most power. Civic has tons of power. Very good. 10 out of 10. The Mazda 3, performance-wise, very impressive. 9 out of 10 indeed. The Elantra, 6 out of 10. The Jetta, 7 out of 10. The Sentra, 6 out of 10. And the Corolla, 8 out of 10. Corolla is way better than you expect it to be. That's the reality. Then in terms of handling, no question. The Civic is very fun to drive even in stand form. 10 out of 10. Same case for the Mazda 3. I will give it 9 out of 10. Then of course for the Jetta, 6 out of 10 standard form, not so fun but still okay. Elantra, 5 out of 10. It's really not that sporty in standard form, 5 out of 10. The Corolla, it's not sporty, it's dull. Simple as that in a good way, 4 out of 10. And handling wise for the Sentra, I will give it 7 out of 10. It's coming back to its glory days little by little. Then in terms of brand prestige, the quality of the brands that they are owned by, how people feel. I would give the Toyota Corolla 10 out of 10 because it's a Toyota. Its Toyota obviously gets a full 10. Honda, 9 out of 10. Mazda 3, 8 out of 10. Then the VW Jetta, 7 out of 10 because of Dieselgate. This could have easily been comparable, but of course you get my point. And then of course the Sentra. Nissan is coming back, but they yet have to do work. There are still so much work to do to get back to the old reputation. So 6 out of 10. Then of course the Hyundai brand is just not there yet. They are successful, but brand prestige, I will give it 5 out of 10. Then in terms of the future classic standards, which can be a future classic? The Civic and the Corolla are already classic, so I will give it 10 out of 10 without a question. Then of course the Sentra is already classic, 9 out of 10. The Mazda 3, 6 out of 10, it will be a future classic. The Jetta is a classic but lost its way, 7 out of 10. The Elantra, good, but it's not a classic. But it will get there, 5 out of 10. Overall, the Civic gets 49 out of 50, the Corolla gets 38 out of 50, and the Mazda 3 gets 41 out of 50, Jetta 34 out of 50, Elantra 25, Sentra 35 out of 50. This is for the weekend category. So overall, the winner of the comparison test is the Honda Civic, gets 95 out of 10. That's impressive from Honda. Runners up, Mazda 3, 76 out of 10. The Toyota Corolla, 75 out of 10. And of course, fourth best, the Hyundai Elantra. Great value for money. You get tons for your money, tons of tech, tons of comfort for a very good low price, and tons of quality as well. 73 out of 10. Jetta, fifth best to me, 66 out of 10. It's wonderful, but it's no match in terms of value or comfort or performance for the Japanese or the Koreans. 66 out of 10. And then not least but not last, the Jetta. So not least, not last, the Nissan Sentra. Sorry, I want to correct that. The Sentra gets 62 out of 10. The Sentra is good, but as I said, the Sentra still have to work hard to get back to their old reputation. It's simple as that. That's the truth. So on this notion, I'm going to end this video. Thank you very much for joining me on this show. Thank you very much.